Right. I actually was same, but ended up on important because of the capabilities, like the performance they cite on embeddings. The multilingual stuff is actually quite impressive, as you can see. So I thought that for enterprises who are looking to do that and who are looking to actually reduce the hallucinations some more, an uptick from RAG, this will do it for them. So I thought it was important. So for by the power of the chalk, important. Let's proceed to the next article. Okay, guys. So this one comes from Quillet, and it talks about the qualitative research using Claude, where it eliminates the company Quillet that is in market research, eliminate 80% of the mandate tasks. So it's a user case. What did you think about this, John?
Yeah, I thought this is, I was going to mark it essential. I mean, you have a lot of, it's a great case study. The labor substitution is, really pretty substantial, right? We get 80%. It's the streamlining the research process. I don't know. It's a short read. My only problem with it, and the reason I would, you know, not recommend it is it doesn't really give a lot of detail, but and it is from a vendor, so I don't know. I guess let's say important because of those reasons.
Ashish, do you agree, disagree?
So my sentiments are similar when reading this document or article. Again, it is a use case, which is always interesting because we get to see what people are implementing in the field. It was a very short article, thin on details. So for that reason, I was like trending towards kind of the lower rankings. But one of the things that I would want to underscore is this is this is not replacement, but again, augmentation of a very highly paid kind of job profile, right? Research, and being able to get highly qualitative results in that aspect is very interesting because again, this is where we feel that the benefit of AI is where it can go and parse through again slew of data and extract insights and kind of create this research augmentation for a lot of organizations. So from that perspective, I feel it is super interesting and trending important.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking actually optional because it's true, but we've seen a number of articles where the qualitative research is augmenting the current users with great results. So, and this is really slim on detail. So again, by the power of the chalk, we'll rate this as optional. And by the way, Ashish, I didn't introduce you. Sorry about this at the front. Do you mind giving a sentence of what you're doing and where?
Sure. My name is Ashish Bhatia. I work at Microsoft as a product manager, and we're building AI platforms for low-code and no-code kind of user base or
Yeah,
persona.
and we value your participation, Ashish, tremendously. So thanks for joining.
Okay.
All right, next to the next article. It's about Cato Networks introducing generative AI security controls for their platform, Cato CASB, to mitigate shadow AI risk. This is, as you can see from PR Newswire, so it's a product announcement, but it's a very interesting product announcement. So I actually put an important on it, even though it comes from a vendor. So Cato Networks is one. It's from they are in Israel, Tel Aviv, and they are quite a serious player in this security industry. They have revenue about $250 million, and they are actually doing well. So their platform of shielding the enterprise from shadow AI when employees use it and might leak the enterprise data out or open the company for attacks. So it's seems very comprehensive, and it's important tool that they're introducing. What did you think about this, John?
Yeah, I also had as important. I think, we've seen there's a lovely survey out there by Writer that talks about 35% of employees are building their own, buying their own tools and using them for work and so forth. So this issue, and not so much about, I don't think of it so much as shadow IT as citizen programmers, but there's so much risk, that gets opened up if you don't have a knowledge of this. So I think that that the capability for an organization to be able to monitor this. I don't think they can stop it, but they can monitor it, and that's I think an important capability.
Ashish, going on important, what do you think?
I had similar kind of rating, but for a different reason altogether. What I thought was this is kind of, and Luda, you have talked about stuff like this in past, like almost trending towards kind of surveillance. Um,
Yeah.
People are going to want to be able to bring their own AI. Just like, remember, there was time where bring your own device was not a thing, right? But now organizations encourage bring your own device, barring the kind of stuff is on top of it, right? I feel there is not going to be one AI winner, anyways, and folks are going to be comfortable with AI that they use for various purposes, and they might want to bring their own AI long term. So we would have to look at this problem slightly differently, maybe in a few years. But today, given the context, I understand, right? Shadow AI is an issue. It creates leak of confidential company data, and people would want to kind of monitor and kind of closely guard that. But long term, I feel there will be much like bring your own device. They might be bring your own AI concept.
Yeah, I struggle with that, Ashish, to tell you frankly, because it's a really intricate balance of where you put this security layer. If you tighten it too much, you completely stifle the creativity, right? And people turn off. If you can't use your own creativity, you say, well, I can find another job, right? So it is an intricate balance, and so, but by the same token, having said that, I understand enterprises, and that's what you're saying. Enterprises will have to have this type of protection, and then try to balance it. So let's
Also,
read it important. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
the other thing is kind of, remember again, a lot of the narrative today is about the enterprise AI, or like whether it's Copilot or Claude or whatever, right? But there are going to be all sorts of AI tools for coding, for designing, for your general kind of helper assistant. So that there would be a spectrum of AI assistants, right? And
Yeah.
folks, depending upon their skills and capabilities, would want to bring their AI.
Right, right. Okay, so let's mark it as important and proceed to the next one. Okay, the next one about the healthcare AI adoption.
Are we going to do the one on Cogito?
Oh, Cogito, right. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
That's right. That's right. And sorry about this. And this is you, John. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was going to write this one essential. I mean, they have this new company just founded last year, by an ex-Googler, and the other person I think was from Meta. They, these models that they're putting out with this, you know, uh, particular approach to iterated distilled amplification, which gives the ability for the model to self-improve and then update itself and then to iterate and do it again. And the if you look at the quality of these models against the benchmarks, they're doing really, really well. So brand new company, everything from 8 billion, parameters up to, 70 billion, very capable models. Amazing they did it in just a year. So this is this, I know we talk about everyday miracles and the, ongoing improvement, but, they develop these things in 75 days. I mean, that's just amazing. So I was going to give this an essential.
Yeah, and the improvements as you can see in all of those charts is incredible actually. So this
Yeah.
is the 3B model. This is an 8B model. So from 67 to 80, from 83. Oh, this one is not quite doing so well, but on the reasoning side, but non-reasoning is doing well, and this is the last one is tool calling for smaller models. I see. So these are different tests talking about, and they're very impressive across the board. What did you think about this, Ashish?
My thoughts were new company, phenomenal work in a short amount of time. This is the kind of power of AI as it stands today, right? In a very short amount of time, you can achieve a lot building on the shoulders of others. So that's great. New technique as well, but not yet tested, right? We don't know how this pans out. It also, in this fragmented market of kind of so many AI models, this is yet another model. What's super interesting is path to super intelligence that they talk about. That path is laced with self-improvement, and without self-improvement, we will not get there. Reasoning is a step further, but again, without self-improvement, we will not get there. But again, for the fact that it's untested, there isn't any case study or kind of user testimonials or customer testimonials. For that reason, I thought it was optional in my mind.
Optional.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have essential to optional. I thought it's worth highlighting it into at least important because of the two new thinking pieces that they've introduced, and having done this in cooperation on top of Llama and on top of other models, and having done this very quickly. So this is the improvement on steroids type of thing. And so it's worth highlighting that this is happening into at least important. Could you both live with important?
Sure. Yeah.
John? Yeah, okay. Well,
Do remember,
important is.
a lot of those comparisons are with the previous generation of llama models also.
That's true, and that's not the right comparison, unfortunately. But it's still a serious advancement into our understanding of the models and how we can accelerate them in terms of their performance. Performance also metrics are not perfect, as we know, right? But by the same token, let's highlight it. So important it is. Let's proceed to the next one. And I screwed up who is reviewing what, so apologies for that. And Ashish, I would like you, if you don't mind, to review this one. So this is the Healthcare AI Adoption Index. This is a partnership between Bessemer Venture Partners, AWS, and Bain to talk about what is the current sentiment among healthcare providers, and what they're doing and how they're adopting AI.
Hmm.
Do you mind introducing this, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be honest, I spent the least amount of time on this article. However, the key takeaways for me was adoption is increasing, investment is increasing, and stuff like that. Stuff that we already know are familiar with other industries. Anybody who's in healthcare, this might be a super interesting read, because again, this gives them the information, the data that they might need to kind of convince kind of shareholders, stakeholders, or whoever, right? Other than that, again, as I mentioned, I spent the least amount of time on this article.
Okay. John, what's your thinking? John, you're on mute. John, we still can't hear you.
I was between important and essential. I mean, it's a nicely done thing. Really goes through, what parts of healthcare are getting adopted. It's in conjunction with Bain and also I forget the other folks they're working with on this, but I don't know. That was very nicely laid out. Bessemer's been doing a pretty good job in terms of looking at market impact. Certainly for an AI leader that's concerned about making the case for their investment, trying to get more budget and so forth. You could draw, even if you're not in healthcare, there are a number of things in here that, you know, could be used, right? You got payer, pharma, provider. You look at all the different use cases in terms of care or marketing and sales, claims, networks. I mean, it's a very rich set of data, and certainly nice graphics that you could pull over into any kind of budget presentation or justification presentation. And so I'm leaning more toward essential because I don't know. I think on these things, the back to what's the ad leader trying to get done, right? They're trying to understand, but they're also trying to make a case for something, and they're trying to successfully implement. So I was going to go essential in this one.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the important category because I think even though they're going deeply into healthcare and with its very specialized issues, it actually, I think, transfers to other segments. And as a result, this is quite interesting, especially on the working with the startups type of phase, and also talking about how AI wave differs from the prior software revolutions, right? This is much faster and much steeper. So it's several takeaways in these articles transfer to other industries, and for the founders of companies in the healthcare space, this very much underlines that now companies are very ready to experiment with the startup solutions and actually much might want to take them as partners and develop the capabilities on the startups solutions and frameworks. So this is actually new. And for that reason, I thought that we should mark it as important at least.
They also talk about the fact that they are open to co-development with startups, right, which is unheard and kind of new in the industry. But there's another interesting number in there: 30% of AI pilots are reaching production, which otherwise might feel like kind of low, but actually it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
I mean, that's why they call them pilots, right? I mean, that's amazing. Well, if we give our audience any votes here, I'm just saying that I have two people who are supporting essential. So, Luda, keep that in mind.
All right. Essential it is.
All right.
Our voters have swayed us. Okay, essential. All right, let's proceed. The next one is a use case from LangChain. And this is about transforming government services in Abu Dhabi using LangChain and LangGraph. And who is this?
That's on me, I think.
That's John. Yes.
Yeah. I was going to give this. I would love to give it an essential, but I'm going to give it an important. I mean, this whole notion of how governments can reinvent themselves. But I was really, given how light the data, the details are, I'm actually between optional and important. And this is such a vital area. Many years ago, we used to teach a thing about Singapore at Harvard Business School about how they automated their government and how important it was for the overall economic development. And when you have a city state like Abu Dhabi, same thing. So I guess I'm on the fence between optional and important.
Okay, Ashish, where do you put this?
I would support important on this because when I read through, I mean, I was like, this is exactly what how government could get started, especially distributing the benefit of AI to all citizens. And again, this is a good case study in that sense. I mean, I know from again experience that, for example, government in India, they are kind of joining the AI bandwagon, kind of distributing. Whether it's for agriculture, healthcare, all these AI services or AI kind of augmented services, we will see more of government AI or kind of sovereign AI solving these problems for their citizens. So again, this stepping in the stone in the right direction, I would say, important for me.
Yeah, I also thought that it was important for a slightly different reason. I mean, they could have done a very simple assistant, right? But they pushed it a little bit with the Lang graph. They put and sort of more semantic and context understanding of what people are looking for in specific cases. They put together the personalized information so that people can receive much more personalized advice. They pushed it, and it actually sort of very important that the government can do this, and it's a great example. So important for me as well. All right, well, let's rate it important. And we have, I think at the end of our 6 articles, we have a couple of minutes. All 3 of us were at Imagination in Action yesterday. This was an event with I think at least, I don't know, almost 1,000 people. So it was well attended, fascinating speakers and the like. Maybe share some takeaways from it. Ashish?
Yeah, I mean,
Back in
for
your
me, yeah, for me, kind of this is the OG of AI conferences, and it's kind of in our backyard. So it's always good opportunity to up close connect with people and kind of meet various thought leaders, right? So I would always try to be there as much as possible. So phenomenal kind of vibes there. The one thing that stuck out for me was this concept of Internet of Things that Professor Ramesh Raskar is kind of driving, the Nanda architecture. We're actually hosting him at Microsoft Nerd Center tomorrow for a conversation around Nanda, MCP, A2A, all of these protocols that are landing to create interoperability between agents. So super interesting.
Yeah, and super important. So there were, in addition to Nanda introduction, there were a whole bunch of startups standing there in front of the door to the Nanda discussion, and some of them are pushing the envelopes on agents and almost like object-oriented programming, but on steroids, sort of equipping agents with all kinds of memory, personalized information, and kind of doing it in real time with sitting on these protocols that enabling coordination. I was really excited about what we're going to see. It's very beginnings. It's really very simple yet, but I think we're going to see quite a bit of distribution power for
Yeah,
agents.
yeah, I was really struck by just how many people are working on different parts of the capability stack, whether it's payments or identity or, you know, different kind of. I was talking to one startup that has a new model of federated learning, and they can work in an asynchronous environment, and they're very secure. So they do healthcare, financial services. It's just the flurry of activity around enabling the new semantic operating system, agentic capabilities, and whether that's at a security layer, identity layer, a payments layer, it's just it's amazing. I mean, and it's just so much activity that's really in this economic cluster.
Yeah. Another takeaway for me was a lot of people stressed about data, and even though it's sort of an obvious point, but there are all kinds of frameworks that are evolving around data being a differentiator, and how do you potential business models on data trading and the like. So that was for me one of the takeaways coming from the likes of Fidelity and sort of large companies like that. So
Sure.
quite an interesting advancement on the data ownership differentiation.
Absolutely. Let me give us a total here in terms
Yeah,
of
what do you have? I don't see your
just a
your
second.
page. I see the first page,
Yeah.
but not the second page.
Yep. Hold on one second.
So if I'm not mistaken, we have.
So here we are. So we've got one important, an optional, one essential. Sorry, four importance, one essential, one optional, and the important is on
Yeah.
the. I mean, the essential is on the preview. I'm sorry, I put that in the wrong one. Hold on one second. These are mixed. The cogito should be important, and the essential should be on healthcare.
Yeah,
So,
essential is on healthcare.
yep. I was
Yeah.
just seeing as you have the power of the chalk when we're talking. I would actually change the. I changed it on the actual slide. So yes, but
Okay.
it is very
But
good.
But thank you. Great discussion. Thank you, Lucinda, Vivek, everyone for participating and giving us your opinion. We really appreciate it. Ashish, thanks for joining us as always. Very good insights. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye bye now.
Have a great day.
Well,
Bye.